So welcome to episode 24 of live.withcode.uk. This one is live from my awesome Year 10 class at Fulford. So this week we are going to be working through a Christmas countdown. So it's going to be something like this. We have some floating snowflakes and a countdown to Christmas. So at the moment we have 8 days, 12 hours, 16 minutes and 31 seconds until Christmas. So we're going to kind of work backwards. First of all, we want to display that countdown. Then we want to calculate it correctly. And then we're going to put it into Pygame 0. And then that's going to be your challenge. Remember that you have all of the links in the description to this video if you're watching on YouTube, or on compete.withcode.uk if your school's signed up for the free challenges. So do work your way through those. And let's get started and see if we can put it all together. There's quite a lot to get through. So first of all, we need to display that countdown message. So if we have a variable called countdown and we set it to a string that's going to be, I don't know, let's say 25 days, 1 hour, 45 minutes and 23 seconds, to display that is nice and easy. We just display it like this. But we want to be able to get the actual values and put them in here. So we need to tell Python how to tell the time. So for that, we're going to import the datetime module. So the datetime module has a class inside called datetime, which allows us to work out what the time is now. So we're going to make a variable called now and work out what time it is at the moment. And it also, the datetime module, using that same datetime class, and don't worry if you don't understand what classes are, it's beyond the scope of GCSE. It allows us to say the current year, as in 2020, but hopefully it will also work next year, in the month of December on the 25th. So that will tell us what the time is and what the date is on Christmas Day at midnight. And we can work out the difference. So the difference is going to be the time at Christmas. We should probably save that into a variable. So Christmas, take away the time now. Okay, we still run it. We've still got the string literal that we had before. We now need to be able to get the right values into this string. So we're going to make some more variables. Let's have one for seconds, for minutes, for hours, for days, and I think that's everything, right? So let's see if we have the number of days plus a colon concatenated with the number of hours, and then a colon, and then the number of minutes, and then another colon, oops, and then seconds. Some of you will be thinking we're going to have a runtime error at the moment because we don't. Well, two runtime errors, lots of runtime errors. We haven't defined these variables. So let's put some test values in for the moment. Let's say seconds is 23, 45, 23, and 4. We're still going to have some errors because we can't add integers and strings. That's a bit of a problem for us. But we can wrap them in the built-in function str, which takes our integer and converts it into a string, which means that you can then concatenate all of these strings together on line 13, so it'll work. So it displays the right sort of thing, but we've got the wrong values. Next thing to work on is putting the right values in. So days should be easy. We get the difference, which we worked out as between Christmas and now. And we can do difference.days, and hopefully that'll be correct. 8 days till Christmas, that sounds about right. But the number of seconds, let's see, difference.seconds, we get a huge number. So that's the number of seconds, including the number of minutes and hours, but not including the number of days. So to get the right value, we're going to use our friendly little mod operator. So mod 60 means divide by 60, ignore the result, but keep the remainder. So there we go. We've got the right value, but it'd be nice if it was padded with a 0, so it said 07. So we convert it to a string, and then we z-fill, we zero fill to 2 decimal places, not 2 decimal places, to 2 figures. I don't want to have to wait 50 seconds, so we'll come back and prove it later. Minutes is going to be the number of seconds divided by 60. But we've got 2 problems. First, we've got that decimal place. We don't want that. Second, our number is too big. So let's fix the decimal place first by rounding it down to an integer. That's better. And then we want to do the same as what we did before with mod. And there's 60 minutes in an hour. So that's better. And then we'll also use our z-fill to 2 places so that we can have exactly 2 figures. All right, we're getting somewhere, but it's going to start looking a bit nasty for the next one, because let's start with, how can we do this? Let's start just from the number of seconds again, otherwise I'll get confused. So the number of seconds divided by, well, we need to divide by 60 to get to minutes, and another 60 to get to hours. So that's in brackets. We're doing 60 times 60, and then we're dividing by that amount. So hours, we have the right number, but again, we've got that those 2 problems. We'll fix that by rounding down. Notice int truncates, it doesn't round. What do I mean there? It means even if that was like 12.7, we ignore the fact that 0.7 is over 0.5, we just round down. We truncate, we don't round. And then we need to, I don't think we need to use the mod operator here, because it's never going to be more than 24, because it's already included in here. So this looks promising. I'm just going to z-fill, zero fill to 2 places. All right, gosh, that was hard work, wasn't it? But this should be an accurate countdown now. Now we can do the fun stuff, which is instead of displaying to the console output in Python, let's use pygame0 to make it look a bit more fun. Okay, so we need to import pgzrun. If you're doing this in Moo, you don't need to do this. You just need to set the mode to be pygame0 mode. And then we need to do pgzrun, pygame0run.go. That will establish a game loop and put some stuff on the screen. And we've got an asset manager, and I've set up one already for a snowflake. If you're doing this offline, then you'll need to download that image. I've just set it up to link to this file automatically here. Right, where are we? So what does the pygame0 run thing do? Well, it's looking for a function called, so a function that's been defined called draw. So if we pop all of this in here, what this go thing means is it will find this function, and every time we need to refresh the screen, it will call that function, which is a problem at the moment because it's just displaying it to the console over and over and over again instead of drawing it to the pygame0 screen. So instead of printing it, let's put it on the screen. How on earth do we do this? I can't remember. Checking my notes. Let's have a look. Screen dot, is it text? No, dot draw.text. So I think this will work. If you look really closely, you might be able to see black on dark grey, and it looks horrible. So we need to change the colour and change the font. So we will say the centre x-coordinate is going to be the width of the screen divided by 2. We'll have a runtime error here because we don't know what width is. So let's define that constant. I'll go for 600 pixels. And then we should be able to have the font. So font size, we'll go for a nice large size of 80. Stop running so we can see what's happening. And we'll go for a colour. So colour spelt the American way is going to be text. We'll stick with the American convention. And we'll make another constant up here. Text colour is equal. Okay, right now we haven't seen this data type before. It's a tuple. A tuple is like a list. It's just multiple values all stored in the same data structure. Not like a list. A list you can add as much stuff to as you like. A tuple you can't. But it's great for storing, say, 3 values. I'm going to go for yellow. So switch the red lights on, switch the green lights on, turn the blue lights off. Hopefully we've now got yellow text, and it's not all scrolling down the bottom, But you can see what's happening. It's just printing the text on top of the same canvas, and it looks nasty. So whenever you have a game engine like Unity or Pygame or whatever, you need to clear your canvas yourself. And often that's done automatically, but it's helpful sometimes when you think that you've got to do it. So screen.fill, and then I'm going to go for sky color, spelled the American way again. It doesn't matter, you can choose your own spelling as long as it's consistent. So sky color, I'm going to go for black, 0, 0, 0, switch all the lights off, and that's better. We have a countdown. It's quite exciting. So we're almost there. Now we just want those snowflakes. Right. Okay, so let's do this outside of our main draw loop, and we'll make a list of snowflakes. That's going to be an empty list. It doesn't contain any. Then let's have a constant that says number of snowflakes. I'm going to go for 10 to begin with. You can tweak it when you adjust the code later. And then let's loop that many times for I in range number of snowflakes. So this is just going to repeat 10 times because our constant is set to 10. We'll make a new snowflake. And to do that in Pygame 0, we use an actor class. And we need to tell it the name of the file. So if you did this offline, you'd need a file called snowflake.png. I've set it up to pretend that there's a file called snowflake.png, which should work like this. We can also set some coordinates, and I'd like random coordinates, x and y coordinates. Random means we need to tell Python how to do random numbers. Okay, so random.randint, somewhere between 0 and the width of the screen. And inside our tuple, remember tuple is just some numbers surrounded in brackets, we'll do the same, random.randint somewhere between 0 and height, which I don't think we've defined yet, so let's go for 300. Okay, you won't see a snowflake yet. We've created it, but we haven't yet displayed it. And we can't display it unless we know how to access it. So we'll add it to our list, snowflakes.append s. So we make the snowflake, we pop it into our list, and then in our draw function, it depends whether you want your snowflakes on top of your text down here or behind your text up here. I'll go for on top. Let's loop through our list again. So for s in snowflakes, let's do s.draw. Okay, hopefully we'll have 10 snowflakes, but it's not very exciting because the snowflakes just levitate. Okay, almost there. Last stage, let's make our snow animate. So before we draw it, we'll do s dot, and we'll change the properties inside. We'll do s.y plus equals 1, so it falls down. Bit of a problem in that once it disappears, we can't see it anymore. So again, we'll use our friendly mod operator. So we'll say the y coordinate is what the y coordinate was, plus 1. All of that, so whatever it was increased by 1, is going to be modded with the height. So it's only ever going to be as big as the height. So it falls down, and then if it goes beyond the bottom, it just goes back up to the top again. Really useful modulo operator. And we'll do the same with the x to simulate wind. So s.x equals whatever the s.x was, plus, and we'll do a random number for this, random.randint, and then you can choose these values. I'm going to go 0, so it can never go left, but it can go up to 3 pixels to the right. Let's have a look and see. So it blows off to the right, but once it's gone, we can't see it anymore, so we'll use our friendly mod operator to make sure it's never bigger than the width. Great. And the final thing is going to be to rotate them. So we don't need to use our mod operator for this because rotating by 361 degrees is the same as rotating by 1 degree. So we'll just go s.angle plus equals. You can have a set amount. I'm going to go for a random amount, a random integer between 0 and, I don't know, 1. So sometimes it rotates, sometimes it doesn't. And that is it. That is your Christmas countdown using Pygame 0. Before we stop, I'll put some challenges on here so that you can work through these. Challenges. Challenge number 1, nice and easy. Change the sky colour to blue or any other colour of your choice. You just need to change a constant up at the top for that, nice and easy. Red, green, blue values, anywhere between 0 and 255. Okay, challenge 2, make the snow blow across the screen faster. So change the amount that you increase the x-coordinate by for each snowflake, nice and easy. And then challenge number 3, add more snowflakes. Okay, again, nice and easy, but I'm not going to give you the clue this time. So I will save this, and then do remember that you've got links to all of the activities in the description underneath this video or on live.withcode.uk. All the very best, and the next one I do will be after Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.